thought for those who withstood his forces for one glorious week. Ireland has shown she is a nation. This generation can claim to be as brave as any that went before. In the years to come, Ireland will honour those who risked all for her honour at Easter in 1916. In opposition to the motion, this House regrets the 1916 Rising. I will speak firstly about the basis for the Rising. Secondly, I will discuss the ever-important messages of the proclamation of the Irish Republic and why we should continue to bear them in mind today and be thankful that they were given to us a century ago. So, I just want to start with some pieces of rebuttal with regards to what Cathal has talked about. Cathal came across that what 1916 was just essentially out for an anti-peace movement. What 1916 was about was trying to create the conditions for a long-lasting peace in Ireland, a peace that had been disrupted by foreign occupation and colonisation for centuries. No, thank you. So, about the basis for the Easter Rising. By 1916, Ireland had known English or British interference for 749 years. Throughout this long time of servitude, Ireland and its people were subjected to military conquest, colonisation, religious persecution, cultural destruction, economic exploitation, opportunistic genocide in the event of crop failure, military service for the oppressor, forced migration, evictions, destitution and transportation. This is Cahill's version of peace and stability and law and order. Go ahead, Will.
All right. So Ireland in 14 and 15, though, was not that horrible, especially compared to Ireland in the 1920s and 30s under effectively a Catholic nationalist state.
Blame the men and women of 1916 for the faults of the Free State, which was established much later after their time, and also to do with the earlier years of 1913, 1914. I'd ask you to ask those questions to the people living in Dublin slums that were allowed to continue by the British government. In an effort to make Ireland as British as Finchley, in 1800, the College Green Parliament was abolished. Albeit a sectarian entity and a farce of democracy, it was a wedge between direct British rule and Ireland. Despite Ireland's subjugation, there was no let-up in Irish Republican nationalism, illustrating that it was impossible to extinguish the Irish passion for freedom. Emmet's Rebellion, the emergence of the Young Irelanders and the Fenians, the 47 Rebellion and the 67 Rebellion, and the Dynamite Campaign all sought an end to British interference in Ireland and the enhancement of national unity between the people of Ireland in an industrial era equivalent to a British creation of an apartheid society, while the Gaelic and literary revivals reinvigorated Ireland's national spirit. No, thank you, Cathal. In 1916, the volunteers and the citizen army formed the Army of the Irish Republic, and McCummin Amon and Fianna Éireann struck a blow for Irish freedom, fighting gallantly under the tricolour of green, white and orange for the creation of Tone's inclusive republic, a state not to discriminate on the basis of religion or to yield to foreign diktats, but to embrace all the people as equal citizens. The central message of the 1916 Rising is equality. No, thank you, Liam. This at a time when our oppressors professed to be fighting for the freedom of small nations, Belgium and Serbia. They betrayed Ireland again, putting their imperialist concerns above the promise for Irish home rule. Irish politicians told Irish men to fight for Britain and its king, sending 35,000 of them to die in the Continental War. That is something to regret. Parnell had stated that no man has the right to fix the boundaries of the march of nation. No man has the right to say, thus far thou shalt go and no further. John Redmond thought that he had the ability to limit the march of this nation. He saw home rule as a final settlement. 1916 proved no one can limit any nation's desire for freedom. Yes, Cathal.
Surely blowing up a large part of the urban centre, surely having deaths of hundreds of civilians, surely having an unmandated, unjustified armed insurrection is also stopping the march of the nation and letting you march to your own tune.
Well, Cathal, just to put you in a bit of perspective about this, the rebels did not blow up or destroy Dublin city centre. The British ship, the Helga, Ireland was provoked into an attack on Britain. It was not the other way around. Do you think that would have happened in the city of London had rebels taken over London? Would Britain have destroyed its own capital? But yet they were willing to do that to the capital of a colony. When a country refuses... No, thank you. Sorry. The working and living conditions of an unfree Ireland's workers and farm labourers at this time is something to be deplored, as we can see when we look back on the events of the lockout. The pains caused by British imperialism and Irish people and Irish politicians to Irish people in 1916 ensured that it was the right of the Irish people, it was the just thing to do to rebel in 1916. When a country refuses to fight for its freedom while it fights at the behest of the oppressor for the freedom of another, it has lost its claim to nationhood. No, thank you, Cathal. Why should we regret the actions of a dead generation when they took a stand for Irish people's freedom when no one else would? So I just want to quickly talk about the messages conveyed in the Republican Proclamation and why we should enshrine these messages into the national psyche. So what happened in 1916 was the rebels went out and fought for modest yet radical ideals. The right of the people of Ireland for the ownership of Ireland. Is that regrettable? Equal rights and equal opportunities. Is that regrettable? Religious and civil liberties for all the citizens. Is that regrettable? Universal suffrage at a time when women did not have the right to vote. Is that regrettable? The pursuit of the happiness and prosperity of all the parts of the nation and the cherishment of all the children of the nation equally. Is that regrettable? The objectives of the 1916 rebels should have been were very much in accordance with those who worry about home rule being Rome rule. The revolutionaries rejected the notion of a Catholic state, the one that would later emerge in 1922, as much as they did to an Orange state. And it is to British imperialism that the primary fault for all the death and destruction and hardship caused in 1916 that the blame for bloodshed must be attributed to. So, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to conclude with the words of Sean Houston. Let there be no talk of foolish enterprise. I have no vain regrets. Think of the thousands of Irishmen who fell fighting under another flag at the Dardanelles, attempting to do what England expects now, what England's experts now admit was an absolute impossibility. Gurv Mila Mahagwib and Fublach Shabu.